Okay, welcome to lecture number 2. So, in this section, we're going to be talking about credit reports. A credit report is a summary of all your credit accounts. This includes things like loans, credit cards, student loans, car loans. And the credit report talks about the activity associated to each account that you have. And so this includes things like payment history, the type of account, the date the liability was open, and stuff like that. And so in America, there are various credit reporting agencies that keep track of every time you take out a loan, every time you make a payment on a loan, anytime a loan is late. They pretty much keep track of all of your financial management. And then these institutions put a summary of all those things into a credit report. And so if you live in America, and you have a social security number, most likely there's a credit report out there that has a summary of your financial history recorded. And so credit reports are used by financial institutions to determine your credit profile. So for example, if you go to the bank and apply for a loan to buy a house, the bank is most likely going to pull a credit report and take a look at the summary of your credit history to determine your financial borrowing power. And so if your credit report shows a bunch of different credit cards and loans and different things with high balances, the bank is going to say borrowing money or lending money to this person might be risky because they already have 25 credit cards and 15 different loans. And so credit reports quickly tell banks and lenders a little bit about your credit history and the likelihood that they can lend money to you. As mentioned, credit reports are tied to your social security number. So this means if you have a social security number, most likely there is a credit report out there with your financial history reported. Here are some examples of different things that can show up on your credit report. Late payments, unpaid medical bills or school fees, unpaid or late cell phone bills or electricity bills, and late payments on student loans. And so any kind of liability or any kind of credit card or loan tied to your social security number is going to show up on your credit report. And a little bit later, we're going to talk about the importance of paying back any liability or any financial obligation that is tied to your name. Because if you don't, it's going to be reported on your credit report, and this is going to significantly impact your ability to take out a loan, to borrow money, and it's going to significantly impact your financial power when it comes to borrowing money from a bank. In most cases, you can obtain a free credit report by going to annualcreditreport.com. And so you can go to the website, you can type in your name, social address, and most likely you can find a credit report that can show you exactly where you are in terms of credit right now. Let's look at an actual example of a credit report. So this right here is an example of the first page of a credit report. So any credit report that you obtain is going to have personal information listed and a summary of all the accounts associated with the credit report. And so page 1 is going to show this information. And so as we can see, for this person, their name is listed, date of birth, telephone number, employer, current address, previous address, and the last date this credit report was updated. And so anytime you get a credit report on yourself, it's going to show this information in the top section of the credit report. And so as you can see, credit reports are very specific to the individual. And this is why when we started the course, we talked about credit is tied to your social security number. And down here, we can see a summary of all the accounts on the credit report. And so this person has a total of 5 accounts. The total balances of these accounts are $4,430. The total payments for these accounts is $110. And as we can see, there are no delinquent or derogatory accounts. And so this person so far has a pretty good credit profile based on page 1 of the credit report. Okay, so next we're going to talk about an actual trade line, which shows the details of each loan and liability that's open on the credit report. All right, so in this section, we're going to talk about an actual trade line on a credit report. And so, as we talked about in the last section, the first section of a credit report provides the personal information and a summary of all the accounts on the credit report. And as you go down the credit report, you start getting into trade lines. And so a trade line is a section that talks about each open liability that you have on the credit report. So for example, this trade line is called ABC Credit Union. And the last report date is April 30th, 2022. The total balance for this account is $5,115. The account is in good standing. Over here, we can see some account details, such as the monthly payment. So this person pays $159 each month for this liability. This account was opened in May 26, 2021. It's a 48-month term. So this means that it's a full-year loan. And so this person is going to pay $159 per month for 4 years to pay back this loan. As we can see, it is a personal loan. The account status is open. We can see that there is no delinquencies or no late payments reported. We can see the payment history section down here. And so as we mentioned, the account was open in May of 2021. This person has made on-time payments every single month so far. There's no late payments. And so the worst payment status is current. So this person has done a good job of making on-time payments for this liability. And so for every open loan that you have, there's going to be a trade line just like this that summarizes your payment history, the date the account was open, the current status, and every time that you've made a payment. And so if you had a credit card with MasterCard, it's going to show a trade line just like this. If you had a mortgage or a home loan with Chase Bank, there's going to be a trade line just like this. Every account you have is going to have a summary and a trade line that's going to appear